Jim Kerr from Simple Minds, welcome to Absolute Radio.
A pleasure.
It's good to have you on. How is life? I just said earlier on, you look very well. You look very well indeed.
Thank you. Life's great. I mean, I've got the best gig in the world because, first of all, I get to lead this great band, and after all this time, if you'd asked us when we started, I keep saying this to people, if you asked us when we started nearly 40 years ago, what did we want to do with this? We'd no idea of the fame and the rewards and all that other stuff. We just wanted to be in a great live band and take it around the world, and here we are all these years later still getting to work with that challenge. So it's been an amazing time.
What job do you think you would have be doing like now if music hadn't worked out for you? What would you have done?
I'm from a family of builders.
Yeah.
We like the smell of cement in the morning. It could have been that, but it probably wouldn't. I was always a reader, and as soon as I was 16, I was hitchhiking. I had this notion of something else out there. I think it would have been something creative, or I would have pushed to do something creative.
Well, speaking of moments of creativity, your classic album, Once Upon a Time, has been re-released. The album kind of pushed Simple Minds to the next level. How do you feel about this album?
Well, Once Upon a Time is there's no doubt about it in terms of popularity. When I look at that album, I think of Don't You Forget About Me, Put in the Band. Although we never included it on the album, it came 4 or 5 months before the album came out.
That wasn't a protest thing then, you didn't put it on the album for a certain reason. What was the reason?
It was a precious thing.
Yeah.
What had happened is that, for people who don't know, we had 5 albums before Once Upon a Time, and those 5 albums had got more and more popular. The sales, the band's reputation had grown to the extent where, let's just say figuratively speaking, we were at the door of the big league. I mean, we already had #1 albums everywhere around the world except America. It was a matter of what the next song would be and what the timing would be. America, we had spent a lot of time touring. We'd spent a lot of money touring, plenty empty halls, trying to build. But America's vast.
Yeah.
And we just weren't getting that kind of promotion. I guess the people in the know thought it's too arty or it's just not right. But anyway, we set about working on what was going to be our new album, Once Upon a Time, and in the months leading up to it, a record company in the States did something that record companies never do, in my experience. They got in touch and said, you know what, we got this wrong. There's a huge audience here for Simple Minds. And we thought, oh, great,
Yeah.
Actually, we were in a huff. We were like, well, maybe you've missed your chance, but you got to give us something now. And we said, we're not going to have another album for about 6 months. You got to give us something now. And we said, well, we don't have anything. And they said, well, we've got something for you. We've got this movie project called Breakfast Club. It's going to be a big kids movie. MTV's going to be all over it. We'd never been on MTV, really. The director wants Simple Minds to do a song, but he wants you to do a song that they have got for you. And we went, hang on a minute.
That must have been weird.
It was weird because we always wrote our own stuff, unless we did covers of classics. But the idea of doing someone else's song, so we were like, I don't know about this. And they sent us the demo, but lyrically, it just wasn't something I would ever write.
Yeah.
I just couldn't identify with it. Unbelievably, we turned it down about 3 or 4 times.
Wow.
And they sent over the boss of the big bosses, and he came over, and we still turned it down. And the thing that made us do it was finally Keith Forsey got in touch, and he said, look, I'm coming over anyway. I know you're not going to do it. That's too bad, but I love the band, and maybe we'll do something together in future. And we said, yeah, sure, and he came, and we just really liked him as a guy, and it was like...
he won you round slightly.
Yeah, little Keith, we were not going to do his song. Why don't we do a song? We'll get a record... It's not that good. We'll get a record company off our back. Tina Turner will do a song for the album. No one will know. And we'll move on.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, we did this song in about 3 or... We come up with the intro, we come up with the whole la 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 stuff. We really gave it a Simple Minds treatment. But we did it in about 3 or 4 hours, thinking that's the end of that. And lo and behold,
and the rest is history.
And the rest is spectacular houses all over the world.
Absolutely. It's mad. That's unbelievable. I didn't realise there was that kind of reluctance from you guys with it. Yeah. Listen, Jim, we're going to play one of your classics here. We're going to play Alive and Kicking. Just tell us a little bit about this song.
Well, leading on from Don't You Forget About Me, the thing was, after it going to #1, it was a sort of, surreal experience. But the first the first thing came into our minds is, what are we going to do? We better have something to follow that up, otherwise going to be one-hit wonders. We're going to be a flock of seagulls. And without the hair.
I was going to say, yeah, without the Barnets, the dodgy Barnets.
Well, I think the good tune, that was a great tune they had. And anyway, Jimmy Iovine, who produced the album, was psychotic. You got to get something that really an event song and all that. And pretty early on in the tune that became Alive and Kicking started to come out the pack, and we're all wondering. But you never know. And then I do remember the last day we mixed in the very centre of Manhattan. It was probably, middle of the night as usual when we ended. But I wanted to walk home. I'm going to listen to this and really see if it's as good as we think it is. And I remember hearing it for the first time on my Sony Walkman. Sun was coming up and the intro came on, and I thought, yeah, this will do it. But it was a failure. It only went to number 2.
Oh, really?
Yeah. An obscurity called Michael Jackson held it off.
God damn.
And so it's a failure.
Well, listen, Jim Kerr from Simple Minds. This is Alive and Kicking. Absolute Radio on a Sunday morning. I am joined by Jim Kerr from Simple Minds. You're touring at the moment, Jim, and you've got amazing fans. There's a great bond between the band and crowd when Simple Minds play live. The fans can be crazy, though. What's the most bizarre thing that a fan has sent you? They ever send you any weird stuff? Like, some people get like drawings or paintings or pictures or anything like that.
I remember, it was being in Spain. It was actually a record company. It wasn't much a fan, but they were crazy fans. And I'm a vegetarian. And they didn't know. And they were so proud to give me, from one of Spain's most famous bullfighters.
Oh no.
his costume, and it was wear the hat, and then I was like, I didn't want to offend. This is back in the 80s. And I was like, this is from Domingo, I was
like legends over there.
And they're legends, they're the kings, and the idea of sorting out the band when they're killing themselves.
I don't know if you agree with this or not, but I always find that if you read up on Simple Minds, people in music, people involved in music, other musicians, all eulogise about how instrumental you guys were in, influencing them and stuff like that. But do you feel that sometimes you guys, Simple Minds, don't get the credit you deserve for how important a band you are? And maybe that's later down the line, people might, because you're still going, people might look back when you've hung up your boots, so to speak, and see you as important as you are and were.
Even if I felt it, I'd never say it. That's for somebody else to say. But I do feel it.
Yeah, no, I agree. I do agree.
But on the other hand, we can, listen, we kind of stopped in the 90s. We never gave up. But if in the 80s we did 8 albums, the 90s we did 3. The wheels did kind of come off. And when the wheels coming off, a lot of people checked out or stopped checking in.
Yeah.
And it's taken a long time for them to look at it again, if they do. But I think they are. The one thing I would say was we actually don't feel anyone owes us anything.
No, it's fair enough. Absolute Radio's kind of motto is where real music matters. What does real music mean to you, Jim?
Real music means, it's got to be authentic. It's got to come from a place that touches you. It's got to make you jump up and down. It's got to make you wonder. It's got to make you want to sing along. It's got to be of its time. All of those things.
Absolute Radio is also the home of rock and roll football. You're a big Celtic fan. I had Rod Stewart on the show a few weeks back. Asked him what made him love Celtic so much, and he went all dreamy-eyed again. I thought he was going to set him off again, crying. Why does Celtic Football Club mean so much to you?
I don't remember Rod at Hampden in 1974 getting beat with Partick Thistle 4-0. But, you can get dreamy-eyed if you likes.
Fair weather fans. He's
fair weather fans, you know what I mean? I don't remember him there. I don't remember that at all. But nevertheless, yeah, he's so passionate about it. It's great. It's where we're from. It's the streets we grew up. Glasgow, you were Celtic, Rangers, Clyde or Partick. And we were Celtic through and through. It's our families have been going since the conception of the club.
Yeah. So how do you sum up Celtic's season so far? How do you feel about them this season?
It's an aberration, the Scottish League. I mean, it's just, even if they win, they can't get any credit. There's no competition. It's having said that, probably get beaten out, but my granny could manage the team currently and do what they're doing. They can't, they play these teams in Europe. Now, you can take a hiding off Barcelona, Juventus, and all that, but to go to Molde, Malmo, Maribor, not so much get beat, but no turn up.
Yeah.
Unforgivable. If we didn't turn up the night at the O2, we wouldn't be living tomorrow.
As a Celtic fan, do you miss Rangers?
Everyone needs a pantomime villain.
Yeah.
Of course I miss them, and I miss the banter with all my best pals that are Rangers fans. To be a Celtic fan, I know as much about Rangers as I do about Celtic. We grew up with them, you know. I can tell the Rangers team that Celtic played in. I mean, that's what makes sport. Great Scottish club, a fantastic club. I mean, and in fact, the way Rangers fans have stuck through what they've been through is, I don't know any other club in the world, but I better shut up or they'll never let me back into Celtic Park again.
Well, listen, Jim, once Upon a Time, re-released, like I said earlier on, beautiful bit of packaging as well, a true classic. It's going to be Album of the Week with Pete Donaldson on the evening show on Absolute Radio, all of next week as well. Jim Kerr from Simple Minds, thank you so much.